What up, family? We back at it again with another great episode. I'm here with my boy.
What is good? It is your boy Mario. Looking forward to a great episode. Let's get it.
Come on now. And it's your boy Elijah, man. And we back at it with another episode of Kanes2Kicks. This week, man, we got some great things to talk about. One of the things I want to talk about is the drops that just happened, man. One of the big drops that happened was with Nike and Undefeated. That was a drop that happened today, as well as we also had a drop, an exclusive drop for the Las Vegas area, which was the A1 dropping from Asia Wilson, man. The city came prepared, man, and
Sure did.
she had a line wrapped around the fashion show mall, man, which was crazy. So it was good to see, man, the great support. Her being able to stay in and just wait to be able to sign people's shoes or boxes, and she was just being a great sport about it. But brother, man, I wanted to know: did you cop or did you drop any of those that dropped today?
It was a good day today. It was a good day on this beautiful Saturday. So I did cop the undefeated Nike Air Zoom Spiridons, which is a super dope shoe. But I know we talked about a few episodes ago, pretty much, the stores are starting to get people back in, right? They're getting that foot traffic. So, cats is lining up at undefeated, and I didn't go line up. I hit the online option and bought mine online. But there was two colorways. There was a black one, then like a lighter colorway, like a tan one or so. I think it's called the Phantom Black colorway, which was a dope one. I know they had one that released maybe a month ago, the Nike Spiridon, and it was only in stores. So
Mm.
super dope shoe. It sold out super quick. It was funny because I was on my way up there and my boy hit me up. He was like, "They're sold out already." So didn't get those ones, but was able to get my hands on these two. So I like the idea of guys being back out in the stores, right? The foot traffic is there, and that brings me to Asia Wilson's, right? She did the pop up at Dick's Fashion Show Mall in Las Vegas and
Mm.
Dick's Galleria Mall in Las Vegas, which was super dope. And I hear the line was wrapped around. My sister in law was there. They got there. I think she said like at 5 in the morning, and she was like 10th in line. So I hear she was the first person in line, but I think maybe security or somebody, she didn't specify, but they told her she couldn't line up to six. So she lined up at six. She was like 10th in line, and she ended up getting her pair. My mother-in-law was in line, and she got a pair. And so they ended up getting my daughter a pair, and they had some super dope shirts to go with it too. And so just to give the family, a little look see. Hey, it's actually a really clean shoe, super light, which
I was just
I'm
about to ask that.
I'm happy they're super light because I did make a reference that I kind of got LeBron vibes from it, but not at all. This is a super sleek shoe, super light. It looks like it's going to be really good, like low top, right? It's a low top
Hmm.
joint. Look like it's going to be hugging the ankle, which is good. You look like you got some ankle support. So, but she has some
Reminds you of
super.
the
Go ahead.
reminds you of the Kobe's. You know
It
how they're always
does
hanging, like hugging your foot in there. And
for
sometimes people
sure,
like that, some people don't. But I think for like a hooper, it fits them perfect because again, they're
for
not
sure.
having to go get their ankle wrapped or whatnot. It's kind of like it's all wrapped in the shoe.
Yeah, for sure. So she has some super dope quotes on here too. I don't know if you can see them, but I'll read it. It says the first one. It says, "As a matter of fact, this is yet this is this as a matter of fact, the best is yet to come." Super dope. I love
Come
that.
on now.
And then she says, "Weakness, weakness. We don't got time for that." And she got exclamation marks behind it. So, she's sending a message, which I like, right? She's not just putting a tennis shoe out there and no message behind it. There's a message behind it of perseverance and resilience and stuff like that. So super dope shoe. Shout out to Asia, bro. She held it down, man. And now I don't know because we had the debate about Sabrina's and Asia's on the court, and I think if she gets some more um, colorways, I can see these on NBA courts along with obviously WNBA.
I can honestly see her having the black ones that they have. I think the black and pink ones is going to be good, more for the NBA. But I think she's also sent an all black pair that Don Staley was rocking, that she also has as well. Also, I want to give another shout out that she is doing with her brand. Her mom made a comment about her going through the airport wearing a bonnet, and she was
Oh,
like, "You need to take that bonnet off. I don't want you to be able to have a bonnet." going through the airport.
Yeah.
Again, whether she felt the way she did, it is what it is. But Asia ended up coming out with a hoodie with a silk basically bonnet inside of the hoodie. So basically
Okay.
when women are traveling and they want to just
Yeah.
put that hoodie on, their hair is still protected by the
For
silkiness
sure. For sure.
in the hoodie. And I think
Yeah.
that was a great idea. She was like, hey, if I got to travel, I'm at least gonna make it for
Yeah.
myself. And again, man, it's great to be able to see her leading the charge for not just Black women, but again, Black women that deal with those type of things when they are traveling. Again, thinking that in the back of their head, like, hey, we got to be able to protect our hair. So when
Yeah.
we are going and traveling, man, and that is a perfect way. Like my wife was like, oh yeah, I definitely got to give me one of those just so I can be able to, utilize the hoodie. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's definitely one of the ones that you want to use.
No, for sure. And that makes sense though. Shout out to her mom too, because I get the whole idea of, they need to wear their bonnets, right? Because my kids, my wife, they wear bonnets to sleep, right? They don't want to mess up their hair. I wear a do-rag to sleep. It ain't no different. And
Mm-hmm.
but I don't like wearing my do-rag in public. And it's not that
Mm-hmm.
I don't like wearing my do-rag in public because of, my own self insecurities, but it's because of, the projections that, are put on you for wearing the do-rag, right? And so sometimes first impression is your last impression. So, that's why I just, a little more cautious on how I move about with my do-rag on. But that's a super great idea for her to put the material in the hoodie. We need that for the fellas though,
Come
like a
on,
little
come
like a
on.
little
Hey,
do-rag type of
that's
joint,
it.
right?
Hey,
So
hey, hey, hey. Let her have the black one with
yeah,
your boy will be with a hoodie on. Again, hair gonna be laid.
yeah.
We're gonna be good. You know what I'm
Because
saying?
hey, don't let the cap confuse you. It's waves under here. So hey, but I did want to show the box real quick. So
Woo,
obviously that's her
that's
signature.
sick. Okay,
Um,
okay.
and
I
then this
like
is
it.
this is the shirt too that came with the shoe. She had this shirt too.
Ooh, love the
Fire.
rings. Love the
Yeah.
rings.
Yeah.
Love the
Shout
rings.
out
Talk your
shout out to
talk.
Asia. Yeah,
Come
shout out to
on,
Asia,
talk
man.
your
She
talk. Come
she
on,
she
talk
she
it.
she did that, man. She put some good work into this shoe, some good thoughts, some good direction. So proud of you, sis, man. This is a dope shoe, man. And she's Greek too. So shout out to her for that.
Come
You
on
know?
now.
Yeah.
I
So
honestly, go ahead, bro.
no, so I'm just saying, man, two great drops, undefeated, the Nike Spiridons and the Asia Wilsons got the city out. The city was out today. It was copping, and so good drops, man. Good drops. Good drops for sure.
I love it, man. I think again, I'm excited for more drops, more colorways, because I think ultimately we're going to be in a situation, man, where you're going to see a lot of AEU squads, repping that because ultimately, man, the shoe is again, I think it's going to be a game changer. Again, it's usually the first ones
Yeah.
are always the game changers, but again, it's the follow ups from
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean? So I would love to see not just her rollout right now that's going on. I love it. I would love to see again her second one that drops, and the
Yeah.
same energy, but even more, for them as well, man. So but yeah, bro, man, again, those are the drops for this week. Let's talk about, something else
Yep.
that's going
Yep.
on, man.
Yeah. So that actually brings me to a good point because the way that Asia got the city out, right? The way that Nigel got the city out, right? That brought the people out and the demand was high for people to buy shoes. But Nike's struggling economically right now with revenue loss, which is really, I don't know, that's crazy to me to know that Nike's struggling with revenue loss with you got your Nijas who have a good following, you got your Asia who has a good following, you got your Kobe's who have a good following, right? You got your Travis who has a good following. Like all these major players got good followings, but Nike tends to take a revenue loss, and it bothers me because when you see Travis Scotts, they're out there. There's such a limited amount of pair, but the demand is super high. So why not sell more Travis? Why not sell more Ages? Why not sell more brick by bricks, right? So we don't have to even have this topic of you losing out on money, and now that you have to utilize the boutiques in a totally different way, which I noticed on the sneakers app was that you couldn't purchase the undefeated Nike Spiridons through sneakers. It led you to
Mm.
the undefeated website to purchase the shoes. So obviously something's going on with Nike. I know they got a new CEO. So tell me your thoughts on just the economic loss right now that they're going through, and the revenue loss, and your thoughts on that.
I think it's so funny though, man, when we talk about Nike. I think Nike, was in a situation, and one of the things that they put out, one of the CEO put out, they want to get back to the boutiques. They want to get back to more focus on the DT DTC sales by prioritizing selling through their own channels. So they mean by that as selling through, again, sneakers app, but a sneakers app is going to be linked to Undefeated. Sneakers app is going to be linked to possibly concepts. Again,
Union.
the unions and all that. So they're going to have all those connections that then you're going to have to go through our website. And as you know, anything that you're buying from somebody else, when we get links and stuff like that, they get a portion of that. Not saying a huge portion, but you're going to get some type of portion. But people are, trafficking through your website. So that allows you to create some type of revenue. The one thing I don't like, and again, we look at the report and some of the things that they were saying in there, they were just saying like they were marketing as if this was still the pandemic and things have changed. And yes, things have changed because again, we look at inflation. Inflation has went up, so things are a lot different than what they used to be. But that doesn't mean that you slow down on what you're putting out there. Look at what the shoes that you are putting out there that is a high demand from your general releases, from your fives. Those sometimes are sitting. Again, other than the reimagined fives, most of your fives are usually sitting. Look at, again, you had your 11s that dropped, but you had so much of a high demand that you now have those sitting still, and we're all the way in almost April. That has never happened usually with an 11 release. Normally that is sold out typically by January. You can't find those shoes anywhere to be found. And then are
Yeah.
usually double the price on a resale website. You know what I'm saying, in that situation. But the one thing that makes me frustrated with Nike is it goes back to what you just said. They will release a Travis Scott and have limited pair. They will have only 10,000 pair. Or the bricks that just released, you have less than 50,000 that are there. Like, nope. You please let me know who wants to deal with that. But if you had a general release, just as if you were to drop a five, you got 75,000 pair, you're allowing everyone to be able to get a pair of those Travis Scotts, where your revenue will go up because you are producing this amount of shoes. And honestly, I want to give you credit. I was actually going to wait for this, but I want to give you credit because you have been on a streak right now in regards to the things that you've been saying that is actually, true. One of the things that we talked about in the previous episode was you said Nike is building up the demand. Word for word, what you just said. What people don't realize, building up your demand is I'm going to what? Be in a situation where I'm gonna release a least amount of shoes. So now you can be able to be like, oh my gosh, when next one coming, next one coming, because I don't want to miss out. So
Yeah.
now we can be able to, when we get into the next year of 2026 and we're releasing different shoes, you're going to want to buy those shoes because the demand has been so low, or I'm sorry, the supply has been so low. Now
Yeah.
you are excited and you're going to want to buy more. So it's trying to create that buyer's buzz in that situation. And I think it has been working. Again, you look at the drops that have been happening. I think Nike right now is throwing out a lot of grails this year from the unions,
Hmm.
from the undefeateds that are getting undefeated fours is getting ready to come out, to a lot of people's other grails, the gammas that are coming out, which I don't believe should be somebody's grail, but a lot of people's grails are the 11 gammas. But ultimately, you look at all the grails that they're throwing out there; they're throwing a lot out there this year. So yeah, revenue is going to go up for next year, but I just think how they're approaching it, man. Why not go for some of the big things that people do not get to see a lot? You don't get to see a Travis Scott. Like, it's rare for you to be able to hit on a Travis Scott. Why not make it
Yeah,
general? I'm not saying do like you do with the pandas, but just be able to do that.
for sure. Well, I mean, you and I both know this is a big corporation prowling on consumers, right? It's a marketing concept of, you know, create a huge buzz. It looks like 15,000 is a lot of pairs, but realistically, that's not a lot of pairs, right? So, um, it's a marketing, little propaganda that they're using. It's creating this buzz, but for people who's been doing this for a long time, like, we're not interested in this, bro. Like, what y'all doing is really, really irritating at this point. And so, but obviously, it's not for us anymore, man. This is a young man's game, and so, how can we wrap the youngest sneakerhead into, this ideal of copying and, wanting to get that next high on copping the next, big time sneaker, right? And so they're creating a buzz, right, for the younger generation because they did this to us 20 years ago. You know, it was the ideal of putting something hot out there, making it very limited, super exclusive, and then now we're like in this age to where we're seeing stuff that came out 15 years ago, and we're like, oh my gosh, I gotta have that because I couldn't get it then, right? And so they're just setting a new generation up, for cops, 10, 15 years down the line, and just now they knowing that they got a crowd of consumers that's going to stick with them the next 10 years. So Nike knows what they're doing, man. It's a I mean great marketing concept on their end, but I don't like the idea that you prowl on these new generation of young sneakerheads who don't know the marketing that goes behind Nike, how they market you and reel you into to cop and buy their shoes. So we'll see how it goes the remainder of this year. We still got some big time releases, like you said, undefeated. I'm so curious to see what the stock is going to be for those. Uh, I just hope they bless people who's been doing this, man. And obviously, I have an undefeated account, and you can go on my undefeated account, man, and you can see that I show love, and I buy when others don't buy. They came out with like what your X8000 Adidas a few years ago. And I mean, I'm set, but I love them and I bought them, and so hopefully they honor those those supporters, man, and bless them with the undefeateds. But we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes down.
I mean, Undefeated does a great job with their releases.
No, they
We
do.
can't we can't deny that. Before we end on this topic, the one thing I will say, even though they said in their marketing report is that they were trying to get away from or thinking that the consumers were the same that they were in the pandemic, and I think to an extent, man, that's a lie. Because even during the pandemic, why was it so hard for us to be able to get anything? Because we had resellers, we had back doors, we had so many things going on that didn't allow us to be able to get in that position where we could
That's what it
pick up
was.
these,
Yep.
you know what I mean? So this is for me what I think they're reverting back to. You're reverting back to what you were doing during the pandemic. Because during the
Yep.
pandemic, you had limited amount and what you were releasing, we didn't get, the majority. Like, think about how many times the pandas came out during that time.
Oh my God. And you couldn't touch a panda. That was the weirdest thing
At
ever.
all, bro. And the
That was
pandas went
weird.
from resales from the beginning of the pandemic, going from about $300 to $400
Yeah, that
to
was
at the
crazy.
end of the pandemic, barely still being at $200. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. I don't want to. I don't want to. Don't tell me that you're trying to go away from it, and you're not in this situation. If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
What Nike's so contradicting, right? What they're telling us is that they didn't like what resellers was doing because the regular consumer couldn't touch the shoe. But as we both know, resellers come and go, right? They're chasing the best shiny thing, right? It's a group of resellers who stuck it out right through this little pandemic of that every business owner is going through, right? So some resellers stuck it out, but the majority of resellers they dip to something else that's shiny and can make them a quick dollar. And so Nike's feeling that right now. They're feeling that that bot's not buying 10 pair of shoes on that drop. They're feeling it right now. So what they're doing is they're creating a buzz, they're creating a demand. Resellers are loving it. And so they're bringing a new crowd of resellers in. They're buying everything up. The bots are back. People are annoyed with the bots. And so Nike knows what they're doing. They don't like the resellers, but they do like the resellers. It's pretty much what it is, because it's creating a demand for them. It's raising the resale market, and so what that does is, I mean, why is the shoe on StockX $400 before it even comes out? Who sets that price? Who gets to set that price? It's a
Who gets the
reseller.
shoe
Who gets
before
the
the drop?
shoe before the drop? Like, I smell BS at the end of the day. And Nike know what they do. Adidas not really doing this. It's only really Nike, bro. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying, man. It's Nike, dude. And I rock with Nike, but damn, show a
Okay,
brother
let's
some
just be honest.
love.
First of all, let's just be honest. What does Adidas have that they have created a demand for? Again, what shot have they shot in this situation
Hey, we're
where
not
this
gonna get on that
demand is that
topic.
big? Okay,
All I
my
know is
bad,
that
my bad.
the
I was just
the
asking.
Anthony Edwards was shoe of the year last year. That's all I know. We'll see this year, but last year Adidas was doing their thing. This year they're doing their thing too. But
Because
we
they
ain't gonna
had
get into
one,
that.
because they had one shot. That's all I'm saying. They had one, and it
James
went in.
Harden, James Harden, his shoes is dope right now. I don't care what nobody say. That is a dope shoe. That's a super dope shoe.
I would agree. hands down. I would agree with that, but I also think that I mean, I think it should be in the top 10 for next year or for this year that we're getting ready to close. That shoe
Yeah,
is hot. Like it reminds me of a Nike shoe, but
yeah.
it's the silhouette, like you have said time and time again. You have said what is a futuristic shoe. It is a great shoe, and I agree.
The only shoe. Oh, we'll get to this later. It's another topic, but go ahead, go ahead. Let's get into some sports talk. I know the NCAA is going right now, and so um, who's your team? What's your thoughts? NCAA talk. Talk to me.
So what I want to say again, I want to give you your props because North Carolina lost first round after they did in the buy-in. They, end up getting in, then they lost the first round.
So
So
trash.
so I will give you credits where credit is due. You have been on a streak lately. I
Come
look
on,
like
man.
trash on this
Come on,
podcast
man.
because
What's
of
up,
how
family?
things have been going. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I'm gonna stick it out and let y'all know I still know my stuff. Yes,
No, you
yes,
do.
yes,
You do.
yes.
I give you that. You do.
But I definitely will say, man, yeah, thank that's definitely kudos. But what I wanted to ask, man, in regards to just the tournament, man, you don't really hear too much buzz as it was in previous 5 to 6 years in regards just to the men's basketball. I'm not sitting here saying that men's basketball isn't that or whatever the case may be. Besides, Duke from Duke, Cooper Flag, like you don't really hear too many things that are going on at this particular
Yeah.
time. So what do you think is going on, man? Because the majority of the viewership in regards to hoopers, in regards to things that people are talking about, it isn't men's basketball. It is more of women's basketball. It is more of South Carolina, more USC, UCLA, Utah, whatever you want to throw out there. There's
Right. Yeah.
more buzz going on with women's sports. LSU. I'm sorry, I just want to throw, forgot
Yeah.
some other teams that I was throwing out there, but there's more teams that are out there that people are talking about
Right.
than just being in a situation where we're only talking about specifically men's like it used to be.
Yeah. So I think there's a few things, bro. And I think the first thing is that in women's sports, bro, can you leave after your freshman year? Can you leave after your sophomore year? Can you leave after your junior year? I want to say,
Yes, yes, because
or
I think
maybe your
Candace,
senior.
I think
Maybe
no, I think because Candace Parker left after her third, so
okay.
that's the only reason why I would say yes to that
But
to the third.
majority of those girls are staying what 3 4 years in college basketball, right? And so the turnover rate isn't really high, right? But if you look at NCAA men's basketball right now, right, the guys are coming from JUCOs, right? Scholarships are much harder to get. The transfer portal is crazy, and then there's NIL money, and so I don't think players have any loyalty to their teams anymore. They're not creating a type of buzz with the organization or institution that's rolling over to the next season, to the next season, to the next season because they're chasing the next dime, right? And so you got a cat who's at one school 1 year, and then I mean, did you see the kid who they lost and he hit the portal 13 minutes after the game? And so NCAA men's basketball is getting a little watered down, bro. And then the kid who's coming out of high school, he's already the next LeBron who's going into college, right? We already have his projections. He's in college, but we already have his projections of what he's going to be in the NBA. They don't give these kids enough time to develop in college basketball, and so I think women's basketball has become a little more exciting. You get Juju for a few years, you get to see her develop. You get to see her mature into a really good basketball player. I mean, if you look at her from her freshman year to her sophomore year, you see the maturity. You don't see that in men's basketball right now. And if you do see it, you see a guy in men's basketball who's like 26 years old because he's been playing college basketball for JUCO years. Then now he's in the NCAA and he's still playing, a few
Hmm.
years there. So there's so many different reasons as to why I think it's changed, but I think girls basketball is exciting. I think it was the Asia Wilson. I think her era. I think the Angel Reese. I think the Caitlin Clark. I think the Sabrina. I think those girls put college, and I'm not gonna say they pioneered it, but they just gave it a new type of buzz, which is dope, man. And so I
They
was
just took it
tuned
over the
in.
lid. They
They took it
it
over
took
the
it over the
lid. So
lid.
I was
Yep.
tuned in. But I mean, what's your thoughts? What do you think the difference is? Why the college basketball is getting so much buzz? You got Don Staley, that coach. You got the coach from LSU girls basketball. I mean, they're getting crazy buzz right now.
Murky.
What you
Yep.
think it is?
So let me address two things you said. One thing I want to address is how men's basketball right now, again, you're just one and done, or hitting the transfer portal. Again, that 13 minutes I thought that was so hilarious, bro. Dude was from Vanderbilt, jumped in
Yeah,
within 30 minutes or 13 minutes, sorry.
yeah,
Um, but I think that's the reason why NCAA just added their new rule to them that, again, if you go to a JUCO, your time doesn't start. So they want more older, mature players. You're going to potentially have somebody that is 26, 27 going to play football, or 26, 27 going to play the NBA, more mature. And we're going to be able to see them mature with doing that. Um, do I think it's going to help the men's basketball league? Yes. And I think it could help their game just a little bit more, because I feel like right now, only thing you're seeing is just AAU basketball out there, man. People just, again, if you got somebody that is, on a team where you ain't got no other good. I'm not saying players are not good. I just want to say a good role players around you, and you have one star. How does that help? That doesn't help. It's not developing again the other players that are around that could potentially be a star themselves. We look
for
at the
sure.
Kentucky team, that had all in people with Devin Booker coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were able to be developed on that team because ultimately it wasn't just AAU basketball during that time.
Yeah.
Second thing I want to address, something that Cheryl Miller said on the all the smoke podcast with Matt Barnes. All the smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. And one of the things she said, man, women's sports are the way they are right now, and they're creating so much buzz. There's no reason for you to be able to get a one and done rule or a two and done, because they're creating so much revenue. The women's
Yeah.
basketball now is creating way more revenue,
Yeah.
where Juju's able to make 100K coming out of college. And I'm not saying she's making way more than that, but I'm just using that as
Way
an
more than that.
example.
She's killing it.
Man, but 100K, and then you go to the WNBA where you only making 75,000.
Yeah.
Why would I leave? Don't get me wrong. Yes, you want to go to the league, but let me help my family out with complete my 4 years, get my degree, enjoying myself in college before I have to go to the league and start doing business. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Again, Angel Reese, when she was at LSU doing the same thing, being able to get endorsement deal after endorsement deal. The women's sports now, man, have it compared to what it was before, man. And I think that's the reason why viewership is up. People want to see, again, a Caitlin Clark. People want to see, Angel Reese. They want to see, Asia Wilson. They want to see, back in the day, Candace Parker. They want to see
Yeah.
Ivory Latta back in the day. Seeing all these players that were great, that were able to push the threshold up, and then you had Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese being able to push it over the top, man. And again, just this new flow that's coming in with Paige Buckets. Miss Buckets, whoo, you talking about a silent assassin, man. She's there from
She is.
UConn. You talk about, again, Juju. You talk about, Flo over there at LSU. You talk about all these different individuals, man. That is another new wave of women coming in. Again, I still think, and I will say this, I still think one of the greatest women's basketball players that ever touched the court was Cheryl Miller. Again,
Okay.
bro, was a baller. I mean, somebody to put 105 points up, like, come on, bro. She didn't do that in
Yeah.
college, but she did in high school. But the fact that she did that, come on, man. That's that,
Yeah.
man. And if it wasn't for reconstruction of in regards to like ACLs, how it was back in the day, she would have had a WNBA career, man. And I think she would have been one of the legends, like she is in college basketball. She would have been,
Yeah. Yeah.
in WNBA. But as we, wrap that topic up, man, I do want to ask you. Um, we have a great day coming up soon.
Sure do.
We have this day called AirMax Day. How do you feel about AirMax Day? How you feel? What you think you might be rocking potentially? And what does Air Max Day mean to you as somebody that has been collecting shoes, somebody that has been collecting Air Maxes? I know you got plenty from Air Max ones all the
Yeah.
way up to 97s. But how do you feel in regards to just Air Maxes in general?
Well, I think we talked about the Air Force Ones being such an iconic shoe, and you could dress it up, you could dress it down, and I think the Air Max is one of those. It's another iconic shoe, and I think it's one of the pioneers of of the Air Max model, especially the Air Max One in particular, which is my favorite. I own a lot of Air Max Ones, and so it's a good shoe, good quality, and a shoe in particular that I really like is the Air Max One, but the Air Max, what did I say? Air Max 97s, right? And it's this one back here. It's my undefeated militia green Air Max 97s. And
Shout out undefeated again. Shout out, shout out.
yeah, shout out undefeated. But I think Air Max did, or Nike did such a good job with this shoe because although this is a 97 shoe, but look at the futuristic um,
Mm-hmm.
look of this shoe still, right? I mean, it still fits today's mold of, of futuristic looks of innovation and things like that. So such a good
And the
shoe
details,
in the
the details for that
details.
undefeated, man, from the undefeated was great. I remember
Yeah,
seeing
no,
it
these were
on.
fire.
Yep, I
These are
remember.
fire.
Remember when you rocked them, man. They're definitely a great shoe.
Yeah, and then I got this is probably my all-time favorite is the Air Max One, which is the OG model. Air Max
Okay.
One. I'm gonna tell you exactly when it dropped. So this came out. This was a re-release, obviously, and it dropped in. I don't have the date, but this is Nike Air Max One OG, big bubble. So the
Big
bubble
bubble.
right here was much
The
smaller.
85. Yeah, the 85. Yep.
So it was much smaller, super dope shoe. And then this classic shoe here, which is the Air
Nice.
Max 90s, the Bacons.
Mm-hmm. Eating it up. Eating it up. I see
Yeah,
you.
so I think it was a New York store, like a meat house or something like that. It was like, can you hear me still?
Yeah, no, I can hear you good.
Okay, yeah, it was like a meat house or something like that, and that's where the bacon came from. So Air Max 90, super dope shoe. And then I just got these two I wanted to show. This is a little pack that I had. It's called the Satin Pack. Super dope.
Have you worn them?
I wore I wore them. I wore these before. I
Like,
probably
first
wore
of all,
these once. I'm gonna be
with like
honest.
a
I probably wore
what a white t-shirt.
maybe some jeans. I wore these once maybe. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I wore these multiple times though. I think
Because
there's
it fits
another.
you.
It's
That
another
fits you.
color too. Yeah, it's another color too. If you guys go look it up, it's the satin pack. There might be another color, but super dope shoe. How do you feel about Air Max Day? Air Max Day is on the 26th too. I want to say so. Typically, what I'll do is for the month of March, I'll wear Air Max every single day. I didn't do it this year because I'm
Slacking.
work is a little crazy
Slacking.
right now. But this week I'm gonna pull out. I'm gonna probably put these in rotation. The ones I just showed you guys. I'm gonna put these in rotation for this week
Put
for Air Max week. So Air Max
put
Day,
them
Air
next
Max
to the
week.
door already. Put them next to the door,
Yeah,
getting
I'm gonna
ready
put
so
them
you
in
can see them.
rotation. No doubt, no
So
doubt.
I would say, man, for me, Air Maxes are have been my classic shoe, man. I wear on a consistent basis. Something that I wear for work, comfortable on my feet, that I can be able to throw on, man. Again, one of the I would say one of the Air Maxes that I like just based upon the color wave was Air Max 97
Mm,
South Beach editions. You know,
mm.
just something light. Again, as you said, the futuristic bubble in the back,
Those are tough. I've never
just the
seen
colorway.
those.
The colorway, bro, is amazing, man. I wore these, yeah, the color. In person, you don't want to see them in person, but through the screen they look good. But again, got
Yeah,
some dust on
mine's a
them
little
just
beat
based
too.
upon the wearing them, man. And I would say my favorite Air Maxes, man,
I
of
know what you're
all,
gonna say.
Ken Griffey's, man, Air Max, bro.
Oh, that's a good one.
Bro, these ones right here. This is when he got inducted to the Hall of Fame. So this
That's
is
a good
Hall of
one.
Fame Air Maxes right here. Um, just this is the kid, man. If you watched anything with baseball, man, the culture was Ken Griffey Jr., bro. Ken Griffey, man, all over. The way he is swagger, wore his hat backwards. The swing, man. I say one of the prettiest swings that you could see in a baseball, man, just was iconic. And for me, man, I never was able to get these shoes. So for me, it's just collecting them. I love me these Air Max Griffies ones, man. Love them, man. I wear
Have you
these a
wore
lot.
them? Oh, you
Oh
wore them
yeah,
before?
yeah.
Okay.
So they actually had a pack of those. So it was the Air Max Griffey ones, it was the Air Force ones, and it was the I think it was the 90s. Air Max
Mm,
90s, but it was all engraved in him. I have the Air Force Ones. The Air Force Ones has his dad's number on one shoe, Ken Griffey
okay.
Sr., and then on the other shoe is 24. It's him
Tough.
on the other one, man. And it's amazing, amazing shoe, man. Don't get me wrong, I got some other stuff, and I think you thought I was gonna pull out the other shoe. But
I thought I was gonna pull
again,
out some
man.
95s to be honest, because I know you like 95s.
Oh man, I do. And but again, those are just the beater work beaters. I wasn't gonna, wasn't gonna bring those out.
Yeah,
But those are,
yeah,
I got the navy blues and the all blacks that I wear all the time, man. But as we wrap up, man, one of the things that I will say just about Air Max Day or just about, rocking shoes in general, man, especially on Air Max Day, it's always great to be able to walk by somebody on Air Max Day and they're like, oh man, Air Max, I see you. And just to be able to have that community just within your own, being
yeah,
able to compliment somebody on their shoe, man. You might see somebody, throw, a throwback, Air Max, maybe 85. And you're like, oh Jesus, like, bro, big air bubble. What's going on? When'd you get these? And now you're having a conversation. So
yeah.
for me, man, I love Air Max Day, just like I love, Air Force out, not Air Force Day, Kobe Day. And just being able to talk about all these shoes, man, that are out there. So
For
again,
sure.
man, is there anything that you want to say wrapping up with our family, man, again with this another great episode?
Yeah, real quick, and I think you made a good point because I think I like Air Max Day for that reason too. Air Max Day brings out true sneaker lovers, not sneakerheads, but lovers, right? Because
Hmm.
Air Max is an original shoe, man, and so it's not hype, it's not overly hype, right? It's not selling out like crazy. This is just the typical shoe you can go get in the mall. Obviously, they got your collabs and stuff like that you can get, but it's just a good shoe. It starts conversation, and that's the reason why we like the community of shoes, right? Because not only is it cool to be fly, but it starts conversation and I'm a big firm believer of just uplifting people and just sending positive energy and some people don't know how to start conversations but as simple as just saying somebody's sneakers will look tough. So Air Max Day, man, my biggest thing for the family, man, is rock something tough on Air Max Day. Post it, tag us, do something, and let's get something going on Air Max Day. I want to see everybody Air Max, on Air Max Day. It's March 26th, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna rock something nice, and I'm gonna post them. Elijah's probably gonna rock something nice. He's gonna post them too, and we're gonna have some fun with it. But another good
Yes.
episode,
Ooh,
and we love you
come on
guys.
now. Come on, man. Again, please subscribe, man. Hit that subscribe button, man. We've been doing great. Y'all been subscribing, y'all been hitting the comments, man. Y'all been giving us feedback. We appreciate it, man. But most importantly, I love what Mario said, man. Tag us in this Air Max Day, man. Let us be able to have a conversation just about shoes.
Yep,
Talk about, again, uplifting somebody that got some 95s on, uplifting somebody that got some 97s. Let's have this conversation, man. And again, let's continue on this train and let's have a great, great week, man. We believe in all y'all, man. But most importantly, man, I'm excited to see what y'all got going on the Air Max Day, man. So if you haven't, subscribe, and we'll be seeing y'all soon, man. It's just your boy E. That's my brother Mario, man. And we'll see y'all later.